The Wild West of college athletics just got a new sheriff, and a new way to catch cheaters. The College Sports Commission, the new watchdog, just launched a groundbreaking anonymous reporting tip line. The NCAA's old enforcement model is dead. This new anonymous tip line is here to tackle the escalating chaos in college sports, ensuring accountability and transparency amid the tumultuous landscape of NIL deals. Industry insiders are already calling it the NIL Snitch Line. Its mission? To crack down on the most controversial violations in this name, image, and likeness era. This entire effort is about enforcing the complex new rules established by the massive $2.8 billion House versus NCAA settlement. The CSC's goal is simple: stop cheating and protect the integrity of the game. But the question is, will this new sheriff bring law and order, or just create a new era of retaliatory chaos? Stay tuned, because the true struggle for power in college sports is just beginning. The tip line isn't just for small-time endorsement errors. It's built to catch the most consequential violations that could destabilize the entire collegiate model. We're talking about the 3 pillars of the new enforcement era. Pillar 1. Illegal pay-for-play inducements. This is the big one. It's about LOE lying on the endorsement, using NIL deals as thinly veiled recruiting inducements to lure players to a school. The CSC wants legitimate business deals, not secret payments for commitment. Pillar 2. Revenue sharing cap violations. The House settlement introduced a direct revenue sharing model, but it came with a limit. The tip line is meant to ensure no school exceeds the new $20.5 million annual revenue sharing cap set by the settlement. This is the new salary cap of college sports, and the temptation to cheat it will be huge. Pillar 3. Roster size limits. For the first time, in exchange for ending scholarship limits, the settlement imposes hard caps on the number of players allowed on a roster. This is crucial for all sports, not just football and basketball. Catching schools that violate these new restrictions is key to managing costs and ensuring a level playing field. An anonymous tip line removes the greatest barrier to old school enforcement: retaliation. For decades, coaches were reluctant to report rivals for fear the spotlight would be turned on them. Now, industry participants are encouraged to police themselves.
Results could bring major changes to college sports. A federal judge is set to rule on a multi-billion-dollar settlement in a lawsuit between college players and the NCAA. The case establishes guidelines for paying athletes for use of their name, image, and likeness, what's known as NIL. The NCAA has fought and lost a number of lawsuits over paying student athletes, but NCAA President Charlie Baker told A. Martinez he supports the settlement.
Most of the entities that are involved in the NIL, their primary interest is athletics. They don't really care very much about academics. 99% of those student athletes are not going to play professionally, and it's going to be really important that their academic opportunities are pursued. And I think putting the infrastructure in place that's associated with the settlement, that's a big win for student athletes.
The CSC sees the tip line as a necessary foundation, providing the teeth to enforce the rules. But here is the critical context: the tip line is also a reaction to the Commission's own struggles. The CSC's main tool is a clearinghouse platform called NIL Go, developed with Deloitte. Every third-party NIL deal over $600 must be submitted to NIL Go for review. The goal is to screen out the pay-for-play deals. The problem? Massive backlogs. School administrators and collectives are publicly reporting slow review times. Deals worth millions of dollars are being held up for weeks, costing athletes real money and creating a huge bottleneck. One major criticism is the staffing shortage. Reports indicate NIL Go has just a handful of full-time employees tasked with manually scrutinizing thousands of contracts. That's a tiny crew trying to monitor hundreds of schools and thousands of deals. In this environment, where the main digital platform is struggling, schools and collectives are incentivized to bypass the system altogether. They might try to keep deals off the books, betting that the CSC simply doesn't have the manpower to catch them. The snitch line is the workaround. It's the CSC's way of deputizing the entire college athletics ecosystem to do the surveillance for them. If they can't review every deal, they can rely on rivals, disgruntled employees, and concerned fans to flag the most egregious violations.
How much playing time they're getting, it's not all about the money, but we certainly know that that's driven a lot of transfer decisions over the last few years, and this is only going to intensify that.
But how does a tip go from an anonymous text message to an actual investigation? The tip line is run by a technology company called Real Response, which specializes in anonymous reporting. This means the CSC can engage in a two-way conversation with the whistleblower to gather more details, all while protecting the tipster's identity. Real Response started out as a college-focused tech company that provided schools with a platform to collect athlete feedback. In an era when the athlete voice has grown louder and more influential, Real Response found that its product, which gathers feedback that's both real-time and anonymous, was useful beyond the college space. The challenge of proof. If a tip comes in saying, School X is offering $500,000 for a signature, the CSC needs corroboration. That means reviewing bank records, phone logs, and comparing the deal to fair market value. The goal is to prove the deal lacks a valid business purpose and is simply an illegal recruiting inducement. Let's dive deeper into Pillar 3 for a moment: roster limits. The end of scholarship caps is a massive shift, but the new roster caps are already having an impact, especially in sports like baseball and football. For example, FBS football rosters are now capped at 105 players. This is a big change from the 130-plus players many programs carry, including walk-ons. This limit forces coaches to make incredibly tough personnel decisions. These limits are designed to stabilize the financial model, but they will also determine the fate of dozens of athletes, as fewer walk-ons and non-scholarship players will have a roster spot. So far, we've covered the complexities of NIL deals, the confusing new software, and the snitch line set up to enforce it all. But for thousands of athletes, the biggest change from the House settlement has nothing to do with six-figure endorsement deals. It's about a more fundamental threat: the end of their career. The settlement didn't just introduce revenue sharing. It effectively killed the old system of scholarship limits and replaced them with hard roster caps across nearly every Division I sport. Why is that so devastating? Because this new structure highly incentivizes schools to put every single player on scholarship right up to that hard cap. In a stroke, it created the death of the walk-on. These are the players who do it for the love of the game, the ones who make up the heart and soul of many programs, but they are now the most expendable commodity in college sports. It's a roster bloodbath in non-revenue sports. Take college baseball. Most SEC teams carried 40 or more players. The new cap? 34. That's an average of 10 to 15 players cut from every team in the country's top conference. This isn't theoretical, we're seeing it happen right now. Coaches are forced to give players a brutal phone call: your spot is gone. The consequence is a sudden, massive surge in the transfer portal. These are not players choosing to leave, they are players being forced out to meet new roster numbers. Their career is put on pause, and their future is thrown into complete chaos. One expert is predicting that the portal for non-revenue sports will double in size this year alone. So, what does this mean for current and prospective athletes? It means you have to be your own best advocate. Stay informed and ask questions is no longer a suggestion, it's a survival requirement. You must go beyond the general statements. Ask coaches directly about their specific plans. Is the school opting into the revenue share? What is your actual roster cap? And for recruits, is the spot you're being offered one that is federally guaranteed or subject to a last-minute cut? The compliance headaches and roster chaos prove one thing: the new era of college sports is just as complicated, and arguably more brutal, than the old one. The promised benefits of the House settlement have come with a very real, very high price. So, to wrap things up, the College Sports Commission is not playing around. This is a complete shift in enforcement strategy, moving beyond the old NCAA model to a more proactive, aggressive approach. The goal is to fundamentally reshape the competitive landscape of college sports, demanding a level of compliance and transparency we've never seen before. But this effort is fueled by one simple tool: the anonymous tip line. And this brings us to the crucial question, the one I really want to hear your thoughts on. Is this anonymous tip line a necessary tool for bringing fairness and order to the Wild West of college sports, or is it a step too far? Is it the only realistic way to police a multi-billion-dollar, cash-heavy industry where the incentives to cheat are enormous? Or is it a form of government-style overreach that will ultimately stifle the very competition and innovation that makes college athletics so exciting? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I'll be reading and replying to the best arguments. If you found this deep dive informative, don't forget to like this video, and subscribe to the channel for more in-depth analysis of the ever-evolving world of college NIL news. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
NIL Fanatic.